Why are some teachers able to create engaging lessons while others are at a loss for appropriate resources? Why do some have smooth running classrooms while others feel they are managing chaos? And why do some teachers love what they do while others feel overwhelmed and disenchanted? In this free 4-part video series, I'll share the answers to these questions so you too can eliminate the overwhelm and restore your love for teaching. Hi, my name is Krista Joy, founder of Special Needs for Special Kids, and I've been working with individuals with autism and special learning needs for over 20 years. In this first video, you're going to discover why starting with the right content is the first crucial step in creating an engaging lesson. You will learn how to feel more confident stepping into the classroom. Having well planned out lessons and activities will not only engage and excite your students, but it will make you more excited and confident about teaching. So if you're in a special education classroom, but you aren't getting access to appropriate resources, or you're an administrator or consultant who isn't making a positive or lasting impact, stay with me because you're going to discover why teachers like you and me can get excited and have less anxiety, and why it's critical to not only start with the right materials to build a solid foundation, but truly understand how to use them. The goal of this video series is simple: to help you easily eliminate the overwhelm and restore your love for teaching. Today, I'll show you the first step of how having the right resources is not enough. You need to truly feel comfortable using them, and that will give you a greater opportunity to experience confidence and positive results. Are you ready to make this happen? Before we dig in, I've got to warn you about something critically important, and not paying attention to this virtually guarantees frustration and overwhelm. Right now, you might think, I can make do with what I already have pieced together. You might think that if you just try harder, you can make the resources and lessons you now have work for this diverse population. You think if I just keep doing it again and again, my kids will finally get it. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if instead there was a place that you could get appropriate engaging resources ready to go, but also videos and tips to show you how to use those materials? I get this may be pretty different from what you've heard before about the world of special education, but this fundamental shift is one reason why learning the best way to use these resources works so well. In fact, you might have already tried to feel more confident stepping into the classroom, and it didn't work out the way you'd hoped. Today, you'll start to see how to do this in a whole new way. I'm sure you'll agree, trying to eliminate the overwhelm and restore your love for teaching isn't always as simple as some people make it seem. It comes with challenges, like maybe you tried what the principal gave you, ordered the latest and best curriculum guide, or even tried to make your own material. You wonder, can I really eliminate the overwhelm and restore my love for teaching? If this sounds familiar, I get it. So many of us teachers have tried exactly the same things. We've heard that little voice of doubt in our head, wondering if it's really possible with my students. And I'm here to show you that it is. That's why in this video, I'm going to start to demystify the process so you can feel more confident stepping into the classroom, and in addition, save you a lot of time and money. In this first video, I'm going to share why, after years of trial and error, the resources I have created work so well. It's all about reaching that 1%. Those students who come to you with the most diverse and most significant challenges. If you have felt frustration and overwhelm, then this will serve as a tremendous resource to help you eliminate the overwhelm and help you feel more confident stepping into the classroom. Maybe you're in the special education world, or maybe you're an administrator or consultant. Either way, you're in the right place because you'll start to understand how having the right resources is only the first part of making you feel more confident stepping into the classroom. I developed these resources for you because I saw so many teachers become completely sidetracked while trying to hunt down the right materials. For example, I saw teachers who were in the special education world spending all of their limited planning time, their evenings, often their weekends, searching on Google for anything that might work. Then, whatever they were able to find, they would spend hours and hours modifying and adapting it to fit the needs of their students. And if you're an administrator or consultant and you aren't making a positive or lasting impact, it's often because you also are at a loss on where to find appropriate resources. I could go on, but I know us teachers need clarity because, in full transparency, that was my story too. Before I outline how to use these resources, you might be wondering how I got into all of this and figured it out. Let me tell you so you can understand where I'm coming from. It started when I knew I had to create engaging lessons in order to feel more confident stepping into the classroom. But I wasn't sure I could because I'm a mom and a wife, and I just didn't have the extra time. And to be honest, I doubted if I could even do it because I was not convinced my students could ever sit through a lesson and learn from an actually structured lesson. And on top of that, I figured I would have no support from other teachers, administration, or parents. If any of this sounds familiar, let me tell you, I know exactly what it's like. I felt inadequate and even questioned myself whether I could do it. But I was tired of spinning my wheels and knew that creating engaging lessons was key to feeling more confident stepping into the classroom. And that's what I was craving. So I set out to find a way to make it happen. Once I got past my objections and I began investing in myself, I started seeing massive growth. I put aside my preconceived notions of what my students could not do and focused on what I knew they could do. This let me feel more confident stepping into the classroom, which is exactly what I was going for. And if you're ready for confidence and positive results too, you're going to love what's coming up because this story doesn't stop with me. Everything I'm about to share with you is the exact plan I followed to create engaging lessons, and it led me to experience more confidence and a true love of teaching. More importantly, this means you'll experience confidence and positive results, and that's what I want for you. All teachers could use that, which is why I want to make this easy for you. So coming up, I'll share with you just how I do it. My purpose is to help you quickly learn how to take appropriate resources and actually use them effectively in your classroom so that you can feel more confident stepping into the classroom. As we go through each part of this process, I want you to think about and identify obvious areas of opportunity for your current situation and students. You ready? Let's get started. Go back to that first day in your classroom with your students. Remember how excited you were? You just knew you could make a difference. You knew you could take your students, who are often 3 or more grade levels behind, and catch them up by the end of the school year. After all, you spent 4 years in college learning all there was to know about how to teach students with special learning needs. You had all the tools, and you could feel the excitement like electricity coursing through your veins. Then the students started arriving. Some walked in. Some came in wheelchairs or walkers. Some may have even come through the door like a ball of fire. It felt like a lot right off the bat. You gave yourself some grace and time to get adjusted. In your mind, you were thinking, okay, 2 weeks and I will get this running smoothly. Then 2 weeks became 2 months, and in the blink of an eye, you were completely and utterly exhausted and disenchanted. Sound familiar? I had all the tools too, and I had spent years learning the best research-based methods. I hung on to what the professionals had told me. It's okay if the rest of the class feels chaotic while you're working one-on-one with the student. That time is so valuable. It cancels out all the craziness that occurs when they aren't with you. Really? It just felt so wrong to me. I just didn't know what to do with all that misbehavior, and my assistants didn't know how to redirect. In fact, they were often reinforcing all that terrible behavior, and that bled into my teaching time. My principal would walk in and look around with eyebrows raised. Now, I loved my principal, and she had complete faith in me, but I could tell she was doubting my methods, and so was I. I stuck with it for an entire year. I lost a few assistants and lots of hours of sleep. It never got any better. The students had measurable growth on specific IEP goals that I worked on in isolation, but they never generalized those skills. On top of that, they were no longer welcome to come to certain enhancement times or even the cafeteria. I had the data to show growth, but in the end, it really didn't matter one bit. The next 2 years, I worked on developing a different system. Slowly, I gave up my one-on-one discrete trial teaching and moved towards a small group, then whole group teaching style. That meant I had 5-year-olds sitting at the same table as 10-year-olds, all learning and working at the same time. And after a few years of trial and error, I figured it out. It really worked, and their engagement was off the chart, and my stress level dropped to the basement. Since leaving the classroom, I've taken what I learned and used it to craft very specific resources for teachers to use in self-contained multi-grade level classrooms. My focus is that 1% population, those students who are the most severely impacted by their disability and often are all grouped together in the same classroom. Brilliant, I know. So here's the bottom line. I figured out the tools that work. I've been creating them and providing them to teachers in my store on Teachers Pay Teachers for more than 5 years. But just like in the classroom, I've come to realize that simply providing those tools on a one-on-one basis to teachers, just like I did for students, it's not enough. Teachers absolutely need these tools. There is almost no content out there that is curriculum-based for our severely impacted students. Tons and tons of file folder games, yes, but not true curriculum. Don't get me wrong, I love file folder games as a tool, but not as a curriculum. So here I am, 5 years later, asking, how can I help? And what I hear from you is, I need more lesson plans. I don't understand how to make this work. I love this unit, but I really need more support. Thus, my idea for a community to support one another and teach the how was born. I want teachers to walk into their classrooms so excited to teach that it makes them wake up before their alarm, not hit the snooze button. I want teachers to exude so much excitement for what they are about to teach that is literally contagious to the other students and other adults in the classroom. But for that to happen, I have to give them more than just tools. I have to show them how to use those tools. Let's say someone gave you this tool. They even told you the name of it. It's an extractor. They told you it was a great tool and it would make life so much easier. But then they walked away and you're left with this amazing new tool, an extractor, but you had no idea how to use it. Worthless, right? The same thing can happen when we find a really cool resource on Google, Pinterest, or even Teachers Pay Teachers. We think, oh my goodness, I love this. This is perfect. But then you find yourself sitting in front of 5 to 10 kids, all with issues too difficult to name, and you have no idea how to make this amazing resource work for them. No matter how great it seemed, it was a total waste of time and money. So as I start on this new journey, answering the question, how can I help? I heard you. You told me you struggle to maintain control of your classroom. You told me how your principal just doesn't understand what you're doing or why. And you told me you are at the end of your rope. I now realize that just giving you more tools is not the answer. You need to understand the how, and not just for a few kids. You need to understand the how to use these resources for a wide range of learning levels and challenges. Do I have all the answers? I wish I could say you bet. Just sign up and I will tell you all you need to know, but I know we are all smarter than that. Every student is unique. Every challenge feels new. So I may not have all the answers, but I do promise to figure it out with you. And as we build a community of teachers with the same passion and interests, we can all work together to support one another and find that best path through the jungle. So let me be your guide. Let me be the person who can provide not only the tools, but the instruction manual as well. So when someone gives you a tool like this, you will know it is just the right thing for pulling those pesky weeds out of your garden and the yard. Now that you're clear about the tools you need, the big question is, how do you actually put it into action? Hands down, this is the most important key for growth of our teachers. If you don't understand how to put them into action, you won't actually use the resources. And without this, it means you'll still be wasting money on resources you won't use. What if instead you could get concise, actionable weekly tips that explained exactly what to do? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter for the same result. It's possible. Now, how do you actually use these resources? That's exactly what I'm going to show you in the next video. If you're in the special education world, this will serve as the foundation so you can see how to actually use these resources. If you're an administrator or consultant, you'll be able to quickly put into practice to explain to other teachers how to use these resources. Once you know exactly what to do, you'll see it's easy to actually use these resources, and I'll show you how in the next video. Next up, we'll talk about how to actually use these resources, regardless of the level of diversity and challenge in your classroom. I can't wait to see you in the next video.